Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
All righty, thank you. I am Commissioner Michael Scott Jr., Commissioner of the 2nd District, and I want to thank all of you for being here today. I want to thank Madam President, my fellow commissioners, Commissioner Laurie, Britton, Naya, Daly, Stamps. I'm doing like you, Madam President. Miller, McCaskill, and Marita. Did you stamp? Did I do stamp? And stamps. I apologize. Sorry about that. All right, and all of the doctors, practitioners, and dedicated advocates who've joined us today. August 31st is a day that will stay in my mind forever. I was sitting in my office and my wife called me. I had been trying to block this day out for a couple weeks. It was the day that we were going to find out the diagnosis of our child, and I got to Erickson just in enough time for the doctor to come in and let us know that our child was on the spectrum. I was lost, confused, hurt, sad, any emotion that you can go through. And I don't want to speak for my wife, but I felt a little bit like Chicken Little. I thought the sky was falling and everything around me. Luckily for our family, I have a strong, smart, dedicated wife who took care of everything that we needed. She found out, she researched everything from schools to therapy to insurance and how that was going to be paid for. And my family's very lucky. And I would say that Michael is an honor roll student. He is a button roller coaster engineer. He is a flag aficionado who can name any flag across the country and point to it. Yeah, man, listen. You point to it, you tell him, he'll tell you the flag, he'll tell you the country. He is the most interesting man in any room that you go to. And that's all because of early intervention and the services that we received. And that's what this press conference is about, is making sure that the residents of Cook County have the services and resources they need to make sure that their child can too become the most interesting man in the room, except for no beer. I want to thank Dr. Mkaitis and his staff. We hosted a very informative Facebook Live event on World Autism Day on the 2nd. A lot of engaging conversation about where you can get services, how you can be diagnosed, and even if you cannot afford these services, where you can go to find payment to get those services taken care of. Like I said, every child deserves to be the most interesting person in the room, and the way that you do that is to provide them with services. And so I'm going to bring up a person that I know is an advocate and a champion for all of Cook County, Madam President.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you, Commissioner Scott, for your leadership and your personal testimony as we celebrate Autism Awareness Month here in Cook County. He has been good enough to acknowledge all our electeds. Let me acknowledge those who are not elected officials. Dr. Mkaitis, CEO of Cook County Health, Maria Aguilar, who's Director of Outreach at Rush University Medical Center / AARTS, which I'm sure she'll tell us about. Dr. Laura Meraz, who's founder of Bluebird Day, IS Landing, and Merlin Day Academy. Dr. Jennifer King, Wheaton Director of Bluebird Day. Aaron Potterton, who's from the Chicago Autism Network. Deborah Vine, CEO and founder of The Answer. I want to thank you all for your advocacy and good work. Autism Awareness Month is an opportunity to reaffirm our commitment to equity in healthcare, education, and community support. It's also a reminder of how much we must do to ensure all families, regardless of their income, zip code, or background, have access to the tools and resources their families need to thrive, as Commissioner Scott's family did. This starts with early intervention, culturally competent care, and strong systems of support. It also means investing in the providers and programs that make these services possible. Cook County government and Cook County Health remain committed to this work. We'll continue to support the policies that expand access to care, and we're also focused on building partnerships that reach underserved communities. We're also working to strengthen our public health infrastructure so that it meets people where they are when they need support the most. To the advocates, service providers, and caregivers here today, again, I'm grateful. Your work is essential. Together, we are building a more inclusive, compassionate, and equitable Cook County. Thank you. Now I'd like to bring to the podium the Chair of the Finance Committee, John Daly.
Thank you, Madam President. Michael, let me congratulate you, the advocates, and my fellow commissioners. As you were telling your personal story, my niece Lally's son was diagnosed, you were talking about the flags. He is an expert on mascots for football, basketball team, and he challenges his great uncle all the time. And I said, "Okay, Preston, we have to stop this." But let me really thank the advocates who work every single day. Dr. Makaitis, the Cook County Health, and of helping families. Diagnosis is scary on any, but to the hard work you're doing and the families that are supporting their children. But I also want to support the Chicago Public Schools for the strong work they do for all kids. My children they're not children, they're adults, were diagnosed with severe dyslexia, but it was through the hard work of working with the Chicago Public Schools that they are successful today. So I thank you, Michael, for your advocacy, not only on this issue, but all issues. And now my honor to introduce the Vice Chair of the Finance Committee, Bill Lowry.
Thank you, Chairman, and thank you to my colleague and brother, Commissioner Michael Scott, for bringing us all together today to talk about this very important topic. So April is Autism Awareness Month. It's a time to not just acknowledge the condition, but it's also a time for us to open our minds and learn, open our hearts, and deepen our understanding of the autism spectrum. Autism spectrum disorder, or ASD, affects about 1 in 36 children, according to the CDC, but those numbers are much more than statistics. There are children, there are siblings, there are spouses, there are friends. Autism is not a label, it's a lens through which some of the most brilliant, creative, and passionate individuals who occupy the earth can be seen. Individuals such as Nathan Moran, whom I have seen grow up through the eyes of his dad, Jim, my law partner. Nathan has exhibited skills during his life that most of us could only hope to have. He is truly an artist. He possesses amazing recall, and he's a loving brother, and he's a loving son. Autism isn't something to be fixed because it's not broken. It's a developmental difference marked by challenges in social communication, repetitive behaviors, and unique interests. But here's the truth. What some may see as different, we should see as extraordinary. Many individuals with autism have incredible strengths, such as Nathan, whether it's a remarkable memory, whether it's a gift for detail, or a unique artistic gift. There's no single test for autism and no one size fits all during this journey. But what we do and what we must do is engage in early intervention, and we must support individuals who have been diagnosed to be on the spectrum. That's why awareness isn't enough. We need understanding, we need acceptance, and most of all, we need resources. You may have seen the puzzle piece, the symbol for autism. It represents the complexity of the spectrum and the importance of seeing how every person fits into the bigger picture of humanity. In blue, while blue is the color of awareness, let blue also be the color of peace and of acceptance and of hope. So this month and every month, be curious, be an advocate, learn, listen, and above all, celebrate the incredible minds that make our world more vibrant, more creative, and more loving. Thank you. It's now my pleasure to bring up, thank you. It's now my pleasure to bring up Commissioner Donna Miller.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Cook County Commissioner Donna Miller, and my district is in the south and southwest suburbs. I'd really like to thank Commissioner Scott for bringing us here today and sharing his personal story and talking about a very important issue for Autism Awareness Month. We are reminded of the significance of autism awareness at a time dedicated to increasing our understanding and acceptance of individuals with autism. So this month, as we talked about, is not just about awareness, it's about celebrating the diversity and unique perspectives that come with individuals that have autism in our communities. Just as a little story, so my grandmother was the director of learning disabilities for the Chicago Public Schools. She created that department in the early 70s. And when we talk about how we come to have awareness and how we have advocates and why school systems have to be focused on students with diverse needs, we have to go back and say, how did it start? And so I want to just say that Chicago Public Schools has been a trailblazer in this work for many, many years. and to recognize that our students and our families deserve the care that comes from the resources and everything else that we provide from a funding perspective. That's what makes a difference in our communities. So we need to educate ourselves and our communities that there are resources out there for students, especially when they're young, so that they can go on to learn and be productive citizens and use their special gifts in the workforce. And I want to also commend the companies that take advantage of the people who can come and work in their companies with these special skills. So together we can make a difference by advocating for all of these policies, making sure we have the resources and practice, and to promote the inclusion and accessibility for all. So let's celebrate these unique talents and contributions of individuals with autism and commit ourselves to building a future where everyone is valued and included, no matter what's happening on other levels of government. Our level of government here in Cook County is committed towards that. Next, I'd like to bring up Commissioner Scott Britton.
Thank you and good morning. I'm Scott Britton, the Commissioner of the 14th District, the fightin' 14th in Cook County. First off, I'm excited to have a conversation with the amateur vexillologist who Commissioner Scott referenced. There's not a lot of us, but he'll be welcome at our meetings. I just want to say, first off, thank you, obviously, to Commissioner Scott and to my colleagues for being here today. As I often say, as a proud papa, my daughter is a special ed teacher. She's had many autistic children in her care. She has that puzzle piece tattooed on her shoulder. And I wasn't excited about her getting a tattoo, but if she was going to get one, that would be the one I'd choose. Because this is such an important part of not only understanding the diagnosis, but also receiving the care, treatment, and education that you need. And I would very much like to give a round of applause to those who support our autistic community, our teachers, and our doctors. Thank you. But on the more concerning side, as I have often said during my time on this board, too much of our health system is based on your zip code. My daughter teaches in one of the most affluent northern suburbs in Chicago. They have every advantage, but not everybody does. And until that happens, we're going to continue to work to make sure everyone gets the care that they deserve. And I would like to introduce next Commissioner Alma Anaya.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Alba Anaya. I'm Cook County Commissioner of the 7th District, which is the southwest side of the city of Chicago. Neighborhoods like Little Village, Pilsen, Bryan Park, all the way to right before Midway. So I'm quite honored to be here today and want to thank personally Commissioner Scott for inviting us, all of us to be here as we recognize Autism Awareness Month and World Autism Awareness Day. It is crucial that we uplift the unique strengths of individuals who are on the autism spectrum and ensure that we do our part in providing services and resources in a safe and welcoming environment. I want to recognize at this moment that that the disparities of diagnosis with someone with autism is extremely alarming. According to the National Institute of Health, the non-white children, including Black and Latino children, are diagnosed with autism on the autism spectrum at a much later age. This can be attributed to a number of reasons, including financial migration and other language barriers. And this is important specifically for me, and I wanted to highlight that particularly because my brother actually officially got diagnosed this year, at 35 years old. So we always knew that, he had, some learning disability. We always knew that it was difficult for him, to really retain things. It was always very difficult for him to really go through this world. And there was a lot of accommodations. His CPS was amazing. He's a proud product of CPS. He went to and was able to get his high school diploma as well. And I always knew it was very difficult to win an argument with him because he always remembered every little thing. So I couldn't really get away with it much. But, he's my Irish twin. So we are 10 months apart. So we grew up together, and I always noticed the difference. And I always noticed that he needed a little bit more support. But I also noticed he had a little bit more patience. He had a little bit more love. He had a little bit more compassion than I did as a child. And the diagnosis, and finally receiving the diagnosis of us to be like, oh, this is this is how we can help support him, just is really sobering for us as a family to be like, we could have helped even more advocating, even more pushing through his learning, endeavors, but also when he was looking to get a job, when he wanted to maybe pursue higher education. And this is the time when we, again, celebrate the fact that there is diversity, but then we actually put a lot of our advocacy and join the efforts of those who have done this for many, many years and for decades to really uplifting individuals that are on the spectrum, and for us to really be supporting with resources, again, with that compassion, with that love, and ensuring that, collectively we are uplifting everybody. I'm going to make some quick remarks in Spanish. Hola, buenos días. Mi nombre es Alma Naya. Yo soy la comisionada del Condado de Cook, del 7º Distrito. Yo también soy la vicepresidenta del Comité de Salud, y hoy me orgullece mucho estar aquí con el comisionado Michael Scott y mis colegas que están reconociendo el mes de autismo aquí en el condado. Esto es algo muy importante porque mi hermano fue finalmente diagnosticado a sus 35 años. Y esto es importante porque vemos que personas de color, personas latinas, personas afroamericanas no son diagnosticadas hasta años después. Entonces, esto no provee oportunidad para las personas y las familias que tengan los recursos y el apoyo necesario para poder tener esa ayuda extra que necesitan cuando están aprendiendo, cuando están trabajando, cuando están siendo parte de nuestra sociedad. Me orgullece estar aquí apoyando esta iniciativa porque es algo extremadamente muy importante que colectivamente como condado y como comunidades estemos apoyando a las personas que tengan autismo. Muchas gracias. And I would like to ask Commissioner Josina Morita to come join us and share a few words. Does she? I think she might have stepped out. Commissioner Tara Stamps, you can.
Good morning. I'm Cook County Commissioner Tara Stamps from the 1st District, and thank you so much to my colleague, Michael Scott, for bringing this forward. But more importantly, just the level of personal testimony that's coming from this group shows that how close this touches families. And so, although that is not my personal familial testimony, it is my testimony as a veteran Chicago public school teacher. And I'm so honored to be able to kind of like where both my lives converge and be able to say through extremely talented special education teachers and school counselors who had their month last month, and guidance counselors and people who specialize in identifying not if our children are smart, but how our children are smart. And so I want to just say thank you to those families. Thank you to those educators who've put everything they have, because they know that our babies are wired differently, they see things differently, and they advocate for the right diagnosis so that our children can have the correct learning plan, the right 504 plan, to not just be successful when they meet them in elementary school, but on throughout life. So thank you so much for that. And finally, thank you to the Cook County that has made sure that through our services and what we provide, we're also able to support those families. So thank you so much. And I will bring up next Commissioner McCaskill.
Good morning. Good morning. I am Commissioner Dr. Keisha McCaskill of the 5th District of Cook County. My area is from the area of Roseland all the way down to Fort Heights, Illinois. Today I want to take a moment to acknowledge autism awareness and express my deep gratitude for my colleague, Michael Scott, for even bringing this to our attention and making this a very important issue for all of us on this month. I want to thank also the parents and caregivers who play a vital role in uplifting and empowering individuals on the autism spectrum. I'm not sure if everyone understands just how important that is, that we don't have another lost community within our society, that we're all banding together to make sure that they too are empowered to become good adults and become able to work out on their own. Autism is not just a diagnosis. It's a journey that affects families in profound ways. Thank you for being the unsung heroes, the parents, the caregivers. Your tireless advocacy for your loved ones and navigating through very complex systems. As I began to look into this when Michael brought it to my attention, the amount of research that these parents must go through just to find the appropriate resource is sometimes unreal. So I thank you for your comfort and your confidence in looking into these areas. In ensuring access to resources, Madam President, making sure that they have the resources that they need to be successful, not only for the children, but for the parents and the caregivers that maintain their lives. Your dedication as parents fosters understanding and acceptance in our communities. You're breaking down barriers and challenging misconceptions about what children and adults on the autism spectrum can actually do. And I want to leave you with this. This particular issue touches more people than we know. They look just like you and I. On Monday, I had the opportunity to attend a community awareness meeting in Worth, Illinois, at Marionette Park. And there was a grandmother that came up to me, and she was very, very excited and she just wanted to thank Madam President for the resources that you provided to a school called New Horizon Center for Children and Adults with Developmental Disabilities and Autism. She acknowledged that Cook County Forest Preserve offers their forest preserve in that area to this particular school, and so they're able to teach their autistic students from a Montessori point of view. So their experience in learning is being done in the Cook County Forest Preserves. She went on to speak about how important it is that we continue to bring light to this and also expand these programs. So I want to thank Madam President for her vision of always putting funding in the right resources and just knowing and making sure that we all know as colleagues and as commissioners that every dollar counts. The resources are there, people are utilizing, and whatever we can do to expand resources out to the other communities, we should be doing just that. So thank you for your time, and thank you, Commissioner Scott. At this time, I would like to bring to the podium Dr. Eric Makaitis. Oh, my apology. No? Okay. You want? Commissioner Marita is back, hiding in the hallways.
Thank you to my seatmate. Good afternoon, or morning, I guess it still is. My name is Josina Morita. I'm Commissioner of the 13th District on the north side of Chicago and the north suburbs. I want to thank Commissioner Scott for his work on this, and to all of my colleagues, I think the one thing I would add is, while there's still a lot of work to do to make sure there's resources for our young children, oftentimes I talk to parents and they fall off a cliff after their kids graduate from high school. And so investing in opportunities for young adults, we have a number of programs in our district that I was hoping would be here today. We work with Will's Place that does training for young adults after high school. They learn to run the cafe. We actually ordered 270 lunches from them on election day for our election judges. We work with Bridges in Lincolnwood that has a partnership where they actually have a mini Target store where they're trained to work at Target, but they have a safe, supportive environment to be able to be trained specifically in their local community. So continuing to invest in these opportunities, as they become young adults and are full adults, I think is incredibly important. So thank you to everybody who continues to do this work. And I think then I'm now introducing Dr. Makaitis.
Thank you, Commissioner. Good morning. Good morning. I'm Dr. Eric Makaitis, CEO of Cook County Health, and it is truly an honor to be here today as we recognize World Autism Month. Excuse me. Thank you to Commissioner Scott. There you are. For organizing this event. Last week, Commissioner Scott and I had the incredible honor of hosting a virtual panel about World Autism Day. It was an opportunity to highlight the unique strengths and perspectives of individuals with autism, discuss ways we can create inclusive and supportive environments, where they can thrive, and to widely celebrate neurodiversity acceptance. Many of the people up here today were part of that discussion, and I was glad to see so many questions from listeners seeking to gain understanding and find ways they can support their child or family member. This is especially poignant to me as the father of a son on the spectrum, and one who'll tell you everything and anything you want to know about dinosaurs. As we've heard, 1 in 36 children in the U.S. have been diagnosed with autism. While awareness continues to grow, we want to understand. We want understanding and inclusion to continue to improve, so that families can get access to early diagnosis and therapy. At Cook County Health, we have long been committed to an inclusive healthcare system. This means providing patients and their families with access to exceptional medical care, regardless of their ability to pay, their insurance status, or their immigration status. And this includes supporting families with children on the spectrum. In addition to offering autism evaluations, Cook County Health has put together a list of resources that you can find on our website, cookcountyhealth.org, under our pediatrics page. Again, cookcountyhealth.org, search for pediatrics, and there's an autism services section on that page. We're also fortunate to have many community partners who can provide additional support to help individuals with autism and their families. And I'm thrilled to see many of them here today. In healthcare, collaboration is key to helping everyone get the care they need. Together, we're all working with the same mission of building a supportive and understanding community that can help all residents thrive. Thank you again for being here with us, and it is now my pleasure to invite Maria Aguilar to the podium.
Hello. Honored to be here today. I am Maria Aguilar, the bilingual clinical social worker, filling in for our outreach director, Holly Weezy. I am part of the Autism Assessment Research, Treatment, and Services Center, which is a clinic that provides a comprehensive range of clinical services, outreach, and research opportunities. Our clinical services include diagnostic evaluations, psychiatric medication management, social skills groups, therapy, and outreach support. We also maintain an online resource directory where families can use the directory to find relevant resources for those on the spectrum. Our resource directory also has a dedicated phone line where families can call and let us know what resources they are looking for, and we follow up with recommendations based on age and insurance and location to make it a little bit easier for families to find what they're looking for. That research directory is rush.edu/ARD. And overall, our clinic is very excited to have the opportunity to talk about the services that we provide that are out there for these families. And we really strive to support families who have a child, an adult, or a teen on the spectrum. And with that being said, I will go ahead and introduce Dr. Laura Mraz.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. First, I would like to thank Madam President and Commissioner Michael Scott for organizing this event today. We just appreciate this recognition to the autism community. I am Dr. Laura Mraz, representing 3 Birds, 1 Mission, which is a collaboration of 3 pediatric programs that I started here in Chicago 18 years ago. I like to say I started our organization out of the trunk of my car. I saw the need in early intervention. I saw the power that our therapy had with families and with the children in making the progress, and made a commitment to starting an organization that not only provided early intervention services, but we grew. IS Landing is our outpatient clinic that continues to provide early intervention service today. Bluebird Day is our therapeutic preschool and kindergarten program. It's an intensive program designed with peers where our children get to socialize but also get the intensive therapies that really make an impact in their lives. And then our recent program, Merlin Day Academy, which is an Illinois State Board of Education approved school. It's for elementary and middle school, mostly with students with autism, and students can get placed there through their IEPs if needed. So I just want to say thank you again for all of your support and acknowledgement of the work that we do with the autism community. Autism is not a limitation. It's a spectrum of uniqueness, perspective, and potential. Yet too often, individuals on the autism spectrum and their families face barriers to the inclusion and support that they deserve. At Three Birds, One Mission, we are committed to changing that. We stand alongside families navigating a journey that is often filled with questions, but also with extraordinary beauty, strength, and resilience. We believe that every person with autism has a voice that matters, a light that deserves to shine, and a future full of possibilities. This recognition today is not about us. It's a spotlight on the importance of autism awareness and inclusion in every community. It sends a powerful message that our children, our families, and our mission matter. To our families, our staff, and community partners, we share this moment with you. And to everyone here at the Cook County Board of Commissioners, thank you for using your platform to uplift and celebrate the work being done to build a more inclusive place. Chicago is a city rich in diversity and talent and heart. Let's continue working together, because when we support and empower the autism community, we strengthen the fabric of our entire city. Thank you. Yes, next I would like to introduce Erin Doyle, who is representing a wonderful organization, Chicago Autism Network, that provides great resources for our families.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you all. Thank you, Commissioner Scott. It is an honor to be here. I am on the board of directors for the Chicago Autism Network, and I'm here with our founder, Kimi Matsumura. Kimi is a fierce advocate and an autism mom, and so, like so many of you have discussed, really saw firsthand a lot of those barriers that families face when trying to access these life-changing therapies and services for their children. We started the Chicago Autism Network in 2018 because Kimi said we can do better. Targeting the three main barriers that autism families face, the Chicago Autism Network supports a large and growing community through education, through networking and linking to service providers, and then finally our main mission, which is funding through our therapy grant assistance program. To date, we've held over 60 virtual free parent events, and held monthly. They aim to educate caregivers on important topics such as IEPs, managing challenging behaviors, toilet training, etc. Each year, we also partner with the Answer Inc. for a Development Differences Expo, and this is a free resource fair where caregivers, some of the best and brightest support services can come and link to different caregivers and show them about their services that they offer, and have just caregiver workshops, and it's a really important free event for our website is filled with resources for families and for the community. We have a service provider tracker and a diagnostic waitlist tracker. The service provider directory allows somebody to go in and filter through based on location, accepted payments, and find exactly a map version by location of exactly the type of service that is needed. Most significantly, our Therapy Assistance Grant Program has awarded over $370,000 since 2019 to Chicago Chicago area families to access life-changing autism therapy. This has accomplished the following. It has enabled 23 children to start autism therapy in-home, in-clinic, and therapeutic day school settings. It has helped 37 children continue receiving services that they wouldn't have been able to afford without the assistance. It has assisted 15 families in paying off medical debts accrued from ABA therapy, and it has helped 5 individuals undergo neuropsychological evaluations necessary for proper autism treatment. Furthermore, these grants aim to help those in most underserved communities, as illustrated by the following. 92% of our grantees have incomes below the federal poverty line. 95% of our grantees are racial minorities, and 92% live in the city of Chicago, with 75% of those living on the south or west sides. We endeavor to continue serving local autism families until all families have access to needed autism therapies and supports. And up next, I will introduce Deborah Vines, CEO and founder of The Answer, Inc.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you so much, Commissioner Scott, and my commissioner, Tara Stamps, for putting this together this morning. I am Deborah Vance, founder and CEO of the Answer Incorporated Autism Awareness and Support Agency, and I'm also the mom of an amazing 37-year-old. How is that when I'm only 45? But 18 years ago, my husband and I started the Answer Incorporated because of lack of resources in our community. And for the last 18 years, we have pushed the needle forward in underserved communities by providing support, resources, education, recreation, advocacy, workforce development, and social skills, not just for families living with autism, but developmental differences across the board, because a lot of our children are dually diagnosed. We are adamant about definitely helping the underserved, and especially the children and adults that have limited language, because they get pushed through the cracks. They just get pushed through the cracks. So we are just adamant about doing that. Each and every Saturday, we have a Spectrum University where we provide tutoring, music, and exercise, because a lot of our kids, they overeat. So we want to make sure that they not just have autism, but not end up with other medical issues as well. We have a walkathon coming up where we raise funds to sponsor children and adults to camp for an entire week. And one component of our agency that I'm super excited about is our first responder trainings, because it's now a law that all first responders should be trained how to interact with individuals with autism. So we are super excited about that. And I thank you all. I encourage you to open your heart to autism.
Again, I want to thank everybody for joining us this morning. I want to thank all the commissioners, all of our dedicated practitioners, therapists, parents, advocates, those who love somebody on the spectrum like I do. Again, I want to thank you, and unless there are any questions, that's the end of our press conference. Oh, Deborah, yeah, when is your walkathon?
April 26th.
Come in, and I've been there before. Proviso West High School. Deborah has a great walkathon that supports many people that that you love that are on the spectrum. All right, I will be. Yeah. I'm coming with you.